Rattlesnakes are very accurate strikers because they use a combination of their extremely keen senses. Not only did the snake that bit Ralph use its sense of touch to zero in on Ralph, but it also used its unique sense of heat detection to place its bite. Like all members of the pit viper family, Southern Pacific rattlesnakes have heat-sensing pits on their face to help them track their prey. These pits are essentially clusters of raw nerves that are integrated into the snake's vision to help it see heat. The snake would have known exactly where Ralph's hand was, even if they'd have been in the pitch black of night.
My whole body hurt. I mean, if you put into numbers 1 to 10, my pain was 15.
Ralph has a systemic envenoming. I mean, his whole body is being affected by the venom. From head to toe, he's swollen and he's bleeding everywhere. Rattlesnake venom causes a thinning of the blood, which is called coagulopathy. The victim's blood thins, which could cause internal bleeding in various organs like the lungs, the GI tract, and sometimes even the brain.
I mean, it was blood everywhere, you know.
Ralph was bleeding from every puncture site, whether it was a fang puncture site or where a nurse was trying to start an IV. Really, the only place that he didn't bleed was in his brain. That would have been catastrophic.
Check out this video. It is hard to watch. Surveillance videos of a family's home in Bakersfield, California. You can see that dog checking out what's going on at the neighbor. He sees a kid on a bike, and for a few seconds he heads around that car, decides to come upon that boy and attack the child, drag the child. Ah, look at that. The cat, the family's cat named Tara, comes to the rescue, chases the dog off, darting onto the screen, knocking that dog away, saving that little boy. Yes, I said cat. It's unbelievable. I'm glad to report that boy is okay, but he did have a couple of stitches, and the mom is saying that the dog belongs to a neighbor and that dog is now under observation.
One, never run from a dog. 2, don't turn your back on any dog. 3, don't trust the owner. Average owner is not going to know what their dog is doing or what their dog is telling them. The 4th is don't assume dogs are friendly. Don't know the dog, just assume that they're a stranger. And the 5th one is don't stand face to face in a threat. You have to move, you have to react. There's 2 myths I want to talk about. 1, don't stare a dog in the eyes. People, you have to know where your threat is at all times. You do not want to project to this dog that you're weak. By looking away, you're projecting that you're weak. You have to face the dog, walk backwards, get out of there. Keeping an eye on the dog at all times. The 2nd myth, if the dog's tail is wagging. All that means is the dog is happy. And could he be happy to bite you? Absolutely. Some dogs are going to be very happy to want to bite you. So that's just a myth. Realize that. Your main line of defense is going to be reading your dog's body language. What do I mean by that? You have to know what your dog is telling you or the dog is telling you at any given time. Friendly dog. What's a friendly dog going to do? Universal with every breed. It doesn't matter which dog it is. If the full body is moving, mouth open and closing, relax, you know the dog is friendly. The full body has to be moving, mouth open, relax, friendly. Potentially threatening or threatening. Dog's mouth is going to be closed. It's going to be looking away from you, or it's not going to want to look at you, but it's not going to want to run away. It's going to stay there, look away, and then as you get closer, may go in for a bite. The 3rd one is a dangerous dog. That one's pretty easy, people. Direct eye contact that becomes tunnel vision. Owner could be yelling at the dog. The dog's going to be intent on looking at you. The dog's going to have auditory exclusion, not even going to hear anything. It's going to have tunnel vision direct to you. Most of the times its mouth's going to be tense and it's going to be coming straight at you. The body, full body, is not going to be moving. At times, the hackles are going to be coming up. And that's just because the dog is a little insecure. He's trying to make himself look bigger, but he can still be a dangerous dog at that time. The whole time the dog is approaching you and coming at you, he's assessing your own body language. He's assessing if you're afraid. He's assessing if you're weak. He's assessing if you're injured, if you're old. And you have to project to yourself that you are confident and you're leaving out of there with confidence. I'm going to approach a potentially threatening dog. You can see the dog mouth tighten up. Body, mouth tense, body tight. Notice his mouth open. As I approach, his mouth tenses up. It's a common question that I get asked, and homeowners and police or anybody in uniform should be aware of. Homeowners, you should be aware that there is dogs who do not like uniforms. And the reason for that is because people in uniform will come and go in your property. Your dog's at home doing his job by barking at anybody that comes near his territory. He barks and barks, or she barks and barks continuously, and the person in a uniform, whether it be letter carrier or officer or utility worker, walks away. In the process of walking away, you're also telling the dog that it's won the encounter. The more and more this happens, the more and more the dog barks and scares away the person in uniform, the more confident this dog gets with uniforms. The problem arises when the dog is outside loose and sees somebody in a uniform and knows that it's got the confidence to chase this person away. It charges after that individual, and now that leaves that person in a uniform more vulnerable. So that's why they don't like people in uniform. So homeowners, just because they like everybody else, they could single out just the people in uniform. People in uniform understand that dogs see you as somebody that they can win against, whether it be through aggression or territory. So just be aware of that, a little more cautious when you're in uniform.